The music stopped so suddenly that 12,000 people thought the power had failed. But it wasn't the power, it was Prince. And he was staring directly at section 104, row 3, where a 140-pound security guard had just grabbed a 16-year-old girl by the throat and was dragging her toward the exit. What happened in the next 7 minutes would prove that Prince wasn't just a performer, he was a protector. And when he saw injustice happening in his house during his show to one of his fans, he didn't hesitate. He stopped everything. It was November 18, 1983, at the Los Angeles Forum. Prince was in the middle of his 1999 tour, the album that was transforming him from a rising star into a global phenomenon. The show had been electric. Prince had already performed Little Red Corvette, Delirious, and Let's Pretend We're Married. The crowd was in a frenzy. 15,000 people packed into the Forum, all of them on their feet, all of them screaming, all of them dancing. The energy was explosive. Dangerous even. The kind of energy that makes security guards nervous. In section 104, 17 rows back from the stage, a girl named Jennifer Martinez was having the night of her life. She'd saved for 6 months to buy this ticket. 16 years old, from East LA, first concert ever. She'd made a sign that read, "Prince, I love you," in purple glitter letters. Jennifer had been dancing for 2 hours straight, jumping, screaming, singing every word. She was small, maybe 5'2", 100 pounds, soaking wet, harmless, happy, living her dream. That's when security guard number 447, a man named Ronald Decker, decided she was a problem. She was blocking the aisle, Decker would later claim in his incident report. She was a safety hazard. She refused to sit down when instructed. But that's not what the 73 witnesses in section 104 saw. What they saw was a teenage girl dancing at a Prince concert and a security guard who decided to make an example of her. "Sit down!" Decker shouted at Jennifer, grabbing her shoulder roughly. Jennifer, who couldn't hear him over the music in the crowd, kept dancing. She had no idea anyone was even talking to her. Decker grabbed her again, harder this time. Jennifer turned around, confused, scared. She tried to explain she couldn't hear him. But Decker wasn't interested in explanations. He grabbed Jennifer by the throat. "I said, sit down," he screamed, his face inches from hers. Jennifer's eyes went wide with terror. She couldn't breathe. Decker's hand was crushing her windpipe. She tried to scream, but no sound came out. The people around Jennifer started yelling, "Let her go! She's just a kid! What are you doing?" Decker didn't let go. Instead, he started dragging Jennifer toward the aisle, his hand still around her throat, her feet barely touching the ground. That's when Prince saw it. He was in the middle of 1999, his guitar screaming, his body moving with that supernatural energy that made him Prince. But something made him look up. Maybe it was the commotion. Maybe it was the way the crowd's energy shifted from joy to anger in section 104. Maybe it was something else. Prince's eyes locked onto Jennifer, the teenage girl being choked and dragged by a man 3 times her size, and Prince stopped playing. The band, confused, kept going for a few more seconds. Dre on drums, Brown Mark on bass, Lisa and Wendy on guitar and keys. But when they realized Prince had stopped, they cut off mid-note. 12,000 people fell silent. The sudden absence of sound was deafening. Prince walked to the front of the stage. He pointed directly at section 104. His voice, amplified through the arena's massive sound system, rang out clear and sharp. "You, security guard, with your hand on that girl, stop." The entire forum turned to look at section 104. Decker, suddenly aware that 15,000 people and Prince himself were staring directly at him, froze. His hand was still around Jennifer's throat. "Let her go." Prince's voice was ice. Not loud, not shouting. Just absolutely, terrifyingly calm. Decker released Jennifer. She collapsed into her seat, gasping, crying, her hands at her throat. Prince didn't move. He stood at the edge of the stage, staring at Decker with an intensity that made the temperature in the arena drop 10 degrees. "Come here," Prince said. Decker didn't move. "I said, come here." Prince's voice was quieter now, but somehow more commanding. "You want to put your hands on people? Come put your hands on me." 12,000 people held their breath. This wasn't happening. This couldn't be happening. Prince, 5 feet 2 inches, maybe 110 pounds, was challenging a security guard to fight him in the middle of a concert. Decker stood there, surrounded by angry fans, stared at by Prince, broadcast on the arena's giant screens. He looked like he wanted to disappear. "That's what I thought," Prince said. Then his voice changed, softer now, concerned. "Baby girl in the purple shirt, are you okay?" Jennifer, still crying, still shaking, looked up at the stage. Prince was talking to her. Prince. Directly to her. She managed to nod. "Did he hurt you?" Jennifer touched her throat and nodded again. What happened next stunned everyone in the Los Angeles Forum. Prince turned to his band. "Take 5. Then he looked at his tour manager in the wings. "Get her backstage, now." Security guards, real ones, not Decker, moved into Section 104. But they weren't there to remove Jennifer. They were there to escort her to the stage. "Wait, what's happening?" Jennifer whispered as 2 security personnel helped her up. "Prince wants to see you," one of them said. The crowd erupted. People were cheering, crying, screaming Jennifer's name even though they didn't know her name. They were cheering for justice, for protection, for a superstar who stopped his entire show to defend a fan. As Jennifer was escorted toward the stage, Prince turned his attention back to Decker, who was trying to quietly slip away. "Where are you going?" Prince's voice stopped him cold. "I didn't say you could leave." Decker turned around, his face red with humiliation and anger. "You're fired," Prince said simply. "I don't care who you work for. I don't care what company you're with. You're not working my shows anymore. Get out of my house." The crowd went absolutely insane. 15,000 people screaming their approval. Decker, escorted by his own colleagues, was removed from the arena. Backstage, Jennifer Martinez stood in a small corridor, still shaking, still unable to process what was happening. A woman handed her water. Someone else asked if she needed medical attention. She couldn't speak. Then Prince walked in. He had left 15,000 people waiting, left his band on stage, left millions of dollars of production in limbo to check on a 16-year-old girl from East LA. "Hey," Prince said quietly, walking up to Jennifer. "Are you okay? Really okay?" Jennifer burst into tears, not from fear this time, from disbelief, from gratitude, from the overwhelming reality that Prince, her hero, was standing in front of her asking if she was okay. "I'm so sorry that happened in my show," Prince said, his voice gentle. "Nobody should ever put their hands on you like that. Ever. You understand me?" Jennifer nodded, unable to speak. "What's your name?" "Jennifer," she whispered. "Jennifer. That's a beautiful name." Prince smiled. "You came here to have a good time, right? To see a show?" "Yes." Jennifer managed. "Then that's what you're going to do." Prince turned to his tour manager. "I want her front row. Center. For the rest of the show. And I want someone checking on her every 15 minutes to make sure she's okay." "Prince, Jennifer tried to speak, but her throat hurt and her words came out broken. "Shh. Don't talk if it hurts." Prince reached out and gently touched her shoulder, the same shoulder Decker had grabbed. "I'm going to finish this show. And I'm going to finish it for you. You're going to be right there where I can see you. And if anyone even looks at you wrong, you point at them, and I'll stop the whole show again. Deal?" Jennifer nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Good." Prince turned to leave, then stopped. "Oh, and Jennifer? That sign you made? The purple glitter one?" Yes? It's beautiful. Thank you for making it. Prince walked back to the stage. The crowd, which had been chanting, "Prince! Prince! Prince!" exploded when he emerged. "Sorry about that, everybody," Prince said into the microphone. "Had to take care of something important. We got a special guest with us now. Jennifer, where you at?" The spotlight found Jennifer, now seated front row center, her eyes still red from crying. "Wave to the people, Jennifer." Jennifer, overwhelmed, gave a small wave. 15,000 people cheered for her like she'd just won the lottery. Jennifer came here tonight to hear 1999, so let's give her 1999. From the top. "And Jennifer?" Prince knelt down at the edge of the stage, looking directly at her. "This one's for you." What followed was the most powerful performance of 1999 Prince had ever delivered. He sang it directly to Jennifer. Every word, every note, like the other 15,000 people weren't even there. And Jennifer, front row center, finally smiled. After the show, Prince's management tried to do damage control. The incident had been seen by everyone. Questions were flying. What happened? Why did he stop the show? Was it a stunt? Prince shut it down immediately. "It wasn't a stunt," he told his manager. "And if you ever hire security that thinks it's okay to choke a 16-year-old girl, we're going to have problems. Real problems." The story spread. By the next day, every newspaper in Los Angeles had covered it. Prince stops concert to defend fan. Superstar fires security guard who assaulted teenage girl. The night Prince became a hero. But the most powerful part of the story came 3 days later. Jennifer Martinez's mother, Rosa, wrote a letter to Prince's management. It read, "Dear Prince, I don't know if you'll ever read this, but I need you to know what you did for my daughter. Jennifer has been bullied her whole life. She's small. She's quiet. She's been pushed around by bigger kids, by mean teachers, by people who think they can hurt her, because she won't fight back. When she came home from your concert, she was different. She kept saying, 'Prince stopped everything for me. Prince protected me. If Prince thinks I'm worth protecting, then I am. You gave my daughter something I've been trying to give her for 16 years. You gave her the belief that she matters, that she's worth defending, that she deserves respect. Thank you. Thank you for seeing her. Thank you for stopping. Thank you for being the kind of man who uses his power to protect, instead of to hurt. Rosa Martinez." Prince kept that letter for the rest of his life. It was found in his personal safe at Paisley Park after his death in 2016, folded carefully, clearly read many times. Ronald Decker, the security guard, was fired not just from that venue but blacklisted from working concerts in Los Angeles. Multiple witnesses came forward saying he'd been aggressive with fans before. Prince's actions didn't just save Jennifer. They exposed a pattern of abuse that had gone unchecked. Jennifer Martinez went on to become a social worker, specializing in helping young women who've experienced violence. In every interview she's ever given, she mentions November 18, 1983. "Prince taught me that powerful people have a responsibility to protect the vulnerable," Jennifer says. "He could have kept playing. He could have let security handle it. He could have pretended not to see. But he stopped everything. He stopped his entire show because one girl was being hurt. That's what real power looks like. That's what real strength is." The Los Angeles Forum put up a plaque near section 104, row 3. It reads, "On this spot, November 18, 1983, Prince stopped his concert to defend a fan. This is where justice interrupts performance. This is where humanity matters more than the show. This story teaches us something profound about fame, power, and responsibility. Prince had every reason to keep playing. Stopping a show costs money, causes delays, risks the energy of the performance. But he didn't hesitate, because he saw something wrong and he had the power to stop it. Real strength isn't dominating others, it's protecting them. Real power isn't using your voice to entertain, it's using your voice to defend those who can't defend themselves." Prince stopped his show that night because a 16-year-old girl mattered more than a song, because justice mattered more than a setback, because seeing someone hurt and doing nothing would have made him complicit. 12,000 people came to see a concert that night. Instead, they witnessed something bigger. They saw what it looks like when someone with all the power in the room chooses to use it for good. Jennifer Martinez was being choked by a man who thought he could get away with it because she was small and powerless. She wasn't powerless. She had Prince. And Prince had her back. That's legendary.